Hi guys, welcome back to Skycon the Finder. Today we're going to be going over the NFL just announced the All-Pro teams, and tomorrow the playoffs start. So we're going to go over the playoffs, we're going to go over the Vegas betting odds and my opinions on them. Maybe make somebody some money out there. So first let's start with the All-Pro teams. Alright, so here we go. On the first team, at quarterback we got Aaron Rodgers. And all that tells me is that the committee is bigger on maybe your QBR and not throwing interceptions, because he certainly was quite a bit below Brady in yards. He's like 1,200 yards behind Brady. And I think he was like 8 or 9 touchdowns behind him in touchdowns. So he scored less, he moved the ball less, but he's the best All-Pro because he made less throws that were picked off, I guess. But scoring wins. So I don't know. And moving the ball, you know, when you talk about rushing titles, whoever typically has the most rushing yards wins, but I guess not throwing interceptions is the most important part of being a quarterback nowadays. Maybe. I don't know. But Rodgers gets it. I think I would have given it to Brady. He had another 5,000-yard season. Led the league in touchdown. Seems like a no-brainer. Coming in at running back, Jonathan Taylor, absolute no-brainer. Killed it. I predicted him to be a 2,000-yard scrimmage back this year. He fell a little bit shy. Broke my prediction there. But he did have 2,000 scrimmage yards if you throw in the receiving. Tight end Mark Andrews absolutely stole the second half of the season. Really wasn't much competition this year. Tight ends were a letdown. Here we go. Wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuels. No complaints from me. I think that's great. I saw PFF had Cooper Kupp not getting his All-Pro, which is insane because, again, he led the league in catches, yards, and touchdowns. He's the 4th Triple Crown winner in the wide receiver in history, and that's my MVP vote right there. Just because he led in all those categories. He literally dominated his position more than anybody else. I guess Taylor dominated too, but Kupp's, I think, you know, he actually was close to the records, and his receiving season is arguably one of the best. I mean, it's up there with Jerry Rice's. When Randy Moss had those 23 touchdowns, he didn't have all the yards. When Calvin Johnson had all those yards, which was just like 18 more than Cooper Kupp, he didn't have very many touchdowns. He had like 5 or 6 touchdowns. It wasn't a lot. So, to caveat that, it's up there. Him, Jerry Rice, Moss, and Calvin Johnson. Moving through. Left tackle, Trent Williams. Yep, locked it in, had a great year. Tristan Wirfs, absolutely knew that guy when he jumped out of that pool in his pro day. Was going to be an All-Pro, probably a future Hall of Famer. I mean, he's a right tackle who can jump out of a pool that's waist high. Yeah, that's freakish. And he was like a state champ in Iowa for wrestling. Left guard, Bitonio. He's a lock. Took that from Quentin Nelson. I think that's rightfully so. Nelson missed a few games, and when we get to the second team, Nelson's there. He took the second team. Zach Martin at right guard. Yep. Center, Jason Kelsey. Lock. Edge rushers, no-brainers. TJ Watt, Myles Garrett. Interior lineman, we knew Aaron Donald was going to get it. Hayward. Cam Hayward coming in here tough at number 2 for first team. The 2 defensive tackles. I guess it could have gone a few ways. Jeffrey Simmons got second team. He had a really terrible, actually, second half of the season. Led all D tackles in the first half and didn't get a sack the rest of the way. Linebackers, bit of a surprise here. But Micah Parsons, Darius Leonard, Devondre Campbell. I thought we maybe would have seen a couple other names in there. I'm not surprised for Micah Parsons. He had a legendary season as a rookie. It's one of the best of all time. But, yeah, pretty good. I won't argue that. But they could have went a few ways. Cornerbacks, Trayvon Diggs, Jalen Ramsey. Safety, Kevin Byard, and my boy out of Oregon State, Jordan Poyer, which is great because everybody loves the Ducks when they talk about Oregon schools, but Oregon's not out here producing all pros like Oregon State is. I mean, we're talking Steven Jackson, we're talking Jordan Poyer, and we're talking Johnny Hecker. Let's go. Special teams, Justin Tucker, obviously. Punter, A.J. Cole, I agree. Kick returner, Braxton Berrios. Okay. He did lead in average. Punt returner, Devin Duvernay. Special teams, J.T. Gray. Long snapper, Luke Rhodes. No arguments there. Now we get to second team. Tom Brady. Okay, I thought he should have been first. I take scoring in yards over not throwing picks any day. But give or take. Running back. No selection at running back. I can see how that's hard because Nick Chubb was second in yards, but then there's a lot of guys that scored way more than him. Interesting. I can't believe there was no selection for second team's running back. Travis Kelce, tight end. Okay. Fine with that. Wasn't a great year. Wide receivers, Justin Jefferson. Absolutely. And Jamar Chase. Okay, so we're getting, some rookies up there in the first and the second pro. I agree. Left tackle, Rashawn Slater. Nuts. Right tackle, Lane Johnson. Left guard, Quentin Nelson. Right guard, Wyatt Teller. And center, Corey Lindsley. So, yeah, I'm going to pick one here. I thought Penei Sewell should have got the All-Pro at right tackle. Maybe they took it away from him because he played some at left. I don't know. But he was like literally the entire time he played right tackle, ranked number 1 in the league the entire year. So, it is what it is. Maybe he fell short on games, but he was the best. Defensive edge rushers. Second team, we got Robert Quinn, Max Crosby. That's nice. Could have seen Max Crosby going up at number 1, but I mean, Myles Garrett and TJ had great years, so what do you do? But Max Crosby, I believe, led the league with pressures at like 86 or something crazy like that. But he hit number 2 this year. Interior lineman, Chris Jones, Jeffrey Simons. Okay, no argument there. Linebackers, Demario Davis, Roquan Smith, Bobby Wagner. All right. Cornerbacks, J.C. Jackson, New England, A.J. Terrell. I know Diggs had all those interceptions, but he also gave up the most yards in the league, gave up the most touchdowns, at least for anyone significant. He had a lot of interceptions, but he gave up too much. I thought A.J. Terrell was the best cornerback in the league this year. So I would have liked to have seen him on the first team, but that's okay. He's getting acknowledged there. Safeties, Justin Simmons, Micah Hyde, Budda Baker tied with them. So 3 safeties on the second team, not bad. All great. Couple last year, 2 of those were first teamers. We got special team, Daniel Carlson, punter Brian Anger, kicker Andre Roberts, punter Jakeem Grant, special teamer Matthew Slater, and Ashton Doolin, and your long snapper Josh Harris. Again, no arguments there. So maybe I thought Penei Sewell should have got a first team, A.J. Terrell, and Tom Brady. It would have been nice to see anybody get a second team at running back, but it was quite the year, a lot of injuries and stuff. But I think maybe Nick Chubb or someone. Gibson had over 10 yards, 10 touchdowns again and 1,000 yards. So I think there could have been someone. Let's move into the playoffs here. So we have the bye weeks going to Green Bay. A few weeks ago when they traded for Smith and they're supposed to get Gilmore from the Patriots, I placed a bet on them to win the Super Bowl. And the Patriots somehow, after releasing a player, were still allowed to trade him. But anyways, they still ended up with a number 1 seed. That was nice for me. Hopefully I win the Super Bowl. Hopefully I win some money on that bet. They get the bye, and the Titans somehow secured 11-5 record and got a bye as well, even after losing to the likes of the New York Jets and the Houston Texans. So I don't think they're going to win their first game. Just put it like that, even with Henry coming back. So we're moving straight into it. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to win that game. The spread is 5.5. That's a really tough spread. I hate picking over it. I think it could be a close game, but I'd take the Bengals. I think they're going to cover it by a touchdown, and I'd probably take the over. The over's 48.5. Then we have New England against the Bills. The Bills are 4.5-point favorites. They just mollywopped them. I think they're going to mollywop them again. So, yeah, the Bills over the Patriots, and I'd take that 4.5 points. The under is 43.5, and the over, personally, I think that's right around where it's going to be. I wouldn't touch either of those. Okay, we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, we got the Eagles at plus 8.5, the Buccaneers at minus 8.5. The Buccaneers are banged up and injured. Godwin's out. I don't even know Fournette's status coming into the game. I know they have Ronald Jones in the backfield, but with Geno Atkins at pass. But I don't know. 8.5 seems like a lot for a banged up team. I'd probably take the Eagles with the points, but Bucs should win that game. Let's get to it. We've got the Niners versus the Cowboys game of the week. I think so. I think this is the game of the week right here. I'm gonna take the. I'm going to go Cowboys. Cowboys actually have a top 10 defense and offense. So, I'm going to give it to them. They got home field. I think they're going to get it done. Niners don't even know who they want their quarterback to be. I'm going to go Cowboys. The points are -3. It's a tough one. I wouldn't touch points, and I wouldn't touch over-unders. It's over 50. It could be a high-scoring game. It could be low. I don't know. Let's go. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites. That's a lot of points in the playoffs. Big Ben knows how to look really good and really bad a lot. So, I don't know. He tends to either win or get blown out. But this is a tough one. I can't see myself ever picking a team with more than 10 points in the playoffs. So I'd probably take the Steelers on that spread, but Chiefs are going to win that game. And the last game is Cardinals +4 against the Rams. I would take that +4 with the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to win. Cardinals are going to upset the Rams. It just seems to be what's going to happen. Especially the Rams losing to the Niners at the end of the season. Cardinals win. So with that said, you got my first round of the playoffs. We'll be back here next week. I'll give you my predictions after all of these fall in line and are correct. And we'll move forth. So it looks like it'll probably end up being Niners versus Packers. Packers will probably mollywop them. Probably be Rams versus Bucks. Not Rams, but Cardinals versus Bucks. And I'm going to take the Cardinals in that one too. Beat up Bucks. Like I said, Bucks are beat up Cardinals. It's probably going to come down to Cardinals, Packers in the NFC. Hell of a game. Take the Packers because I bet on them. And we'll jump over to that AFC after the Bengals beat Vegas and the Bills beat New England. They'll be playing in KC. Okay, so it's going to be the Titans versus the Bengals. And the Titans are going to lose. Then it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Bills. And I think the Bills are going to hang this one. Bills have the #1 scoring defense. So you're going to get the Bills-Bengals. Bills are going to beat the Bengals. We're going to get Green Bay Bills Super Bowl. That's my take. Ha!